So today could have been a very, very good day for the crypto market, for markets in general, and instead it turned into a day of hell. And what I mean by that is we are seeing red throughout the space. And why this is happening is actually something that came from the Fed meeting that we need to have a discussion about because it's something we need to monitor as we move into 2025. But at the same time, this seems a little bit overblown. The market's overreacting a little bit right now, and frankly, it's giving us all a big, big opportunity. And I want to have a discussion about this with you guys. So if you're new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell again; it's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So just looking across the market, red, 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 everywhere you look. ADA, SHIB, doesn't really matter what asset it is. I mean, H bar is in the green, but it's basically erased a whole day of gains. I mean, this is what happens when the market decides to overreact to a couple words. Now, what this is all stemming from, and this is even a pullback we're seeing in terms of BTC, that's an ugly daily candle pulling back to our support here, our 20-day moving average. Again, BTC does not like to drop below here either. So frankly, again, another big day of opportunity. But what this is coming off of is the Fed meeting. And while we did have a 25 basis point decrease, which was on expectations, this is exactly what we're hoping for as a market. The market waited to hear Jerome Powell's words. And unfortunately, he went back to his old self throughout what we saw in 2023 and in 2022, basically just putting kind of his foot in his mouth, and the markets did not like this. So what he actually signaled was fewer rate cuts coming in 2025. So we know this year we had 3 rate cuts, and they were projecting us to continue kind of down the same path heading into next year. But instead, they said the slower pace of cuts for next year is really a reflection on both the higher inflation readings we had this year and the expectation inflation will be higher. All right. So if you guys remember the last few CPI reports, they've come in not necessarily a little hot, but we've had these months of 0.2%, 0.3% increase. And the thing is that adds up over time. The Fed's expectation or goal is to get us back to a 2.0% inflation rate, and we have not gotten quite to that point this year. Now, even this vote on this 25 basis point decrease today, they said it was pretty close, but they felt that this was the best path forward. So now what they're doing is they're taking this very cautious approach to heading into next year. And unfortunately, markets did not like this at all. We saw crypto go on the drop. We saw the stock market go on the drop. $1.5 trillion worth of the stock market wiped out since this meeting took place. And it's obviously not a fun thing. But where this got even more strange was when Jerome Powell was actually asked a question about Bitcoin directly. And I want you guys to hear this.
Assets that have been buoyant. Do you see any value or benefit in the U.S. government building a reserve of Bitcoin?
We're not allowed to own Bitcoin. The Federal Reserve Act says what we can own, and we're not looking for a law change. That's the kind of thing for Congress to consider, but we are not looking for a law change at the Fed.
So this was kind of a weird question. So first of all, people don't realize that the Fed is not the government. They're kind of their own pseudo private organization. They basically oversee the banks, they oversee interest rates, and they try to tackle inflation, right? That is basically their job. That is also the same reason that, for example, there was talks about Donald Trump firing Jerome Powell, and Jerome Powell's like, yeah, good luck. I'm basically a private business. You can't do crap, frankly, right? And so here's the thing is I don't know why he was asked about the government owning Bitcoin in general, because it has no impact on them, right? For example, they don't own gold. They don't own BTC. For example, the assets that they do own is financial securities, lending arrangements, and assets of LLCs. All right. So the U.S. Treasury oversees printing. They oversee, obviously, the reserves. And the thing is when we talk about a reserve asset like BTC, it has zero impact on the Fed. And actually, when you think about it, the Fed, who oversees the banks, the private institutions, they're actually BTC, and crypto is a direct competitor to them, right? So I don't know why the market is overreacting the way that it is, why we're seeing such a significant pullback, because of course a competitor is going to say, oh yeah, we can't own this. Oh, I don't really care about that, blah, 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 right? That's why I'm saying today is a day of opportunity. Does this change anything? No, not really. Really, the only thing that changes is just the rate at which we return to the mean next year in terms of interest rates. So the thing is this will speed up a little bit of spending in the short term, but for an overall recovery in terms of economic spending from, people, from households, it's going to take a little bit of time to get back there. So this target of getting to kind of a soft landing into the early part of 2025, it now gets pushed back slightly. Now, this could be a good thing and a bad thing, because this is something that frankly could extend the market cycle, period. As we get into mass adoption, bigger times of adoption may be pushed out to later in the cycle. I'm not saying it's not going to happen early in 2025. I still think that it does. I think we get our normal crypto boom, but the big boom, the one that leads to blow off tops, the one that leads to super cycles, may have just been pushed back to a little bit further in the cycle. So these are just things to pay attention to. It's definitely unfortunate. Today, again, could have been really good, but it just kind of turned into another red day, the ones that we are tired of seeing in the crypto market, unless you're adding. And again, I'll go back to this. Today is a day of opportunity. You need to think long-term in the crypto market. It's about time in the market, not timing the market. What is happening here has no effect on the adoption of crypto. Remember, we still have a pro-crypto administration coming in. There will be a pro-crypto embrace. And with that comes mass adoption. And all we have to do is just sit back, relax, and give it time. So in case you guys were wondering, that's what happened today. It sucks, but guess what? We'll get over it. We'll recover. And it wouldn't surprise me if the market stops overreacting over the course of just a few days once it digests this. So have a great day. Show your love below. Let me know your thoughts. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.